The colors around me bleed black and blue. The paint bubbles under the surface, and the canvas consumes me, fading into a picture I don't want to be in. If you're struggling, if you need help, you should know that it's okay to ask. It's okay to not be okay. Your feelings, they're worth something. Now is our time to make a change. It's time to reveal what's been hiding behind the mask.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for adolescents ages 15 through 24. Mental illness is a factor that greatly contributes to this act, the main two being anxiety and depression. Millions of people have been medically diagnosed with these disorders and are constantly trying to overcome and deal with the struggles that accompany them. Suicide in teens has been increasing in past years, and it will only get worse if issues such as mental health stigmas, a lack of awareness related to mental health, and the rising use of suicidal jokes among teens continues to be a problem.
So this is my fourth school year. I was a social worker at an alternative therapeutic high school for two years prior to this. I would say the majority of the students that I do see, kind of the overall umbrella of mental health and depression, anxiety, bullying, things like that. I think more recently, a lot of expectations on teenagers, especially with school-related academics, AP classes, and just managing their self-care. Another key factor is social media. I think that plays a huge part of it as well. It's hard to say. I always recommend or highly encourage a student who's struggling to seek outside help. And then from there, then they can really get into things and determine that.
Of course. Jokes about suicide or self-harm have become something quite normal among teens in recent years, and this overall has a negative impact on them. Today's generation is defined by its overwhelmingly morbid sense of humor, whether it be teens saying they want to die over minor inconveniences, or that they want to jump off a cliff because they got a bad grade on a test. These types of dark jokes can be seen everywhere. Many say that it's a way of relieving stress by joking about what's bad in their life. While jokes and satire can be an effective way of lightening up a situation, it's not always healthy. Eventually, we become desensitized to the topic. What if someone really needs help, but we think it's just a joke? What happens if they take it too far? If someone is actually in need of serious help, no one will believe them, which is why joking about suicide is something that should not be taken lightly. It interferes with people who truly need assistance getting the care and mental help they require.
I do know that many people that commit suicide do have a correlation with mental illness. Many times it's undiagnosed, but mental illnesses that go along with people that are suicidal are like depression, bipolar disorder, some schizophrenia, mood disorders, anxiety disorders. All of those I do know do have a correlation with people that have committed suicide. If you believe someone is suicidal, for me as a mental health professional, I have to assess the risk and I have to notify. So if it was a child, I would obviously have to notify parents. In my job that I work at, we notify parents and we do what's called a level of care assessment. We send them to different referrals we have that work with our district to assess to make sure that the student isn't going to hurt themselves. We give that information to parents. As a friend, you should always obviously tell an adult. If you're at school, you can tell a counselor. And if you know the students, if you're good friends with the parents, you know the parents, I would contact them, but you always want to make sure you tell somebody.
Having a serious conversation is proving to be harder as time goes on for each new generation. Serious topics are often avoided because they are overwhelming and dark, which causes people to not talk about them at all. This is an issue because it is pushing adolescents away from getting help from professionals or even friends and family. It's preventing people from just speaking up about their mental health because they are afraid of being judged or treated differently by their peers due to them just being honest. Sarah Nicole spoke out about how mental health stigma impacts her everyday life on her blog. What is so sad to me isn't the personal attack. It's the stigma that comes with assuming someone is faking it. When you accuse someone of having a fake mental illness, you're just as bad as the people who say mental illness isn't real. You are discrediting a survivor's story. You are taking away the very real.
Lack of awareness affects the increase in mental health rates in the United States, and everyone needs to be better educated on the topic. Approximately 18.5% of adults experience mental illness within a given year, and 34.4% of kids ages 8 to 18 experience a severe mental disorder at some point during their life. The percent difference could be caused by various factors, such as the pressures of school, social media influence, genetics, etc. Suicide never comes down to just one thing.
When we go to look at all clients that walk through the door, from little kids all the way up to maybe a 70, 80-year-old, half of our clients have depression. And they all basically kind of look the same, believe it or not. The thoughts are very similar. The behaviors, all of these other things. If we would talk about it more, then at that point people would understand it.
Most adolescents do not understand the severity of mental health and how to cope with it. Undermining mental health and avoiding the conversation of suicide is just as destructive to adolescents as it is them actually suffering from these disorders. Data collected from a student survey done at McHenry West Campus shows that 8.2% of students suffer from depression, 26.2% from anxiety, 30.3% from both depression and anxiety, and 35.2% suffer from neither. 7.4% of students feel like their school helps them handle the everyday stressors in their life, 43.4% say sometimes, and 49.2% say no. On the bright side, 82.8% of students are aware of the suicide prevention hotline or other ways to seek help. It is time to shine a light on suicide and mental illness in America. Nothing can be done until awareness is brought to this serious and undermined topic. Mental disorders and suicide affects everyone, which means everyone should be educated on the subject. It should be heavily discussed in schools. The symptoms and warning signs should clearly be laid out for those that need to be informed. School and working environments should come equipped with easy, accessible, and helpful support groups, free of charge, as a safe place for those that are struggling to go and seek the help they need but might be having a difficult time finding. The only way to make progress is by breaking the silence. Together, we can paint a brighter picture for America's future.